Hiya, I'm Jasper, and welcome to your video review for The Great British Bakeoff. I think it's season 14, but for some reason Netflix has it listed as like chapter 11. I don't know why, but it's a new season just came out and just concluded, okay? Yeah. So, premise of this show is 12 bakers are in a giant ass tent with, actual like baking thing, and there's different okay, this week is patisserie week, this week is cake week, this week is chocolate week, whatever, and there's always some type of baking involved in the challenges, but they have, every episode there's the signature, which they get like an hour to 3 hours to prepare that, and it's basically something that there's certain parameters that they have to meet, but otherwise, do whatever you want. Then there is the second one, which is the technical challenge, and that one, again, is between like an hour and 3 hours. And so those two take place on the same day. And the technical challenge is that, the direction is just like, bake the bread type of thing. But it's like they have to create a thing that the judges have decided. And the judges give them, super minimal direction. So instead of being like, oh, you need the dough to this, and you need this much salt, and this many eggs, and you need it for this, and you put it in for 350 for however long, it's just like, make the bread. But it's technical because they have to come as close as possible to exactly what they are supposed to make. Whether it's 12 of some type of pastry, they have to have the right consistency, the right size, the right sponginess to it or whatever. And then the judges come in blind because initially all 12, they have the photos facing away so they can't see whose is whose, and they just basically kind of rate them from last to first. And yeah, so they also rate the signature challenge from start, best and worst type of thing, but not quite as in-depth as the technical. And then the third one is the showstopper, which again, there's some left and right limits, but this one is usually 3 to 5 hours for that, and that takes place on the second day. And that is usually some big thing, it has to be a lot bigger and also look a lot cooler. So, and it's a thing where they are always looking at, okay, is it a showstopper? Do these look nice? Because it's supposed to be great baking. Does it look good? But it also has to taste good. You can't just have something that looks amazing and then you bite into it and it's soggy or it's overdone or it's claggy or stodgy or whatever. Same thing the other way. If it doesn't look great, it doesn't matter if it tastes really awesome. It has to have that both on there. And so then at the end of the episode, one baker goes home and then another one gets star baker. And so they do that until they get down to 3. So they do that each week, and then once they get down to 3, then those 3 compete, and then one of them wins the show each season. And what I like about it is that so in American reality TV shows, Big Brother and Survivor and Ink Master and I don't know, Bar Rescue-ish, maybe not Bar Rescue, but Hell's Kitchen. The whole thing is that you, as a contestant, are competing with all of these other people for a really big prize, money. $50,000 maybe for Ink Master or something like that, $500,000 for Big Brother, $1 million for Survivor. You are competing for a massive sum of money. So you are going to lie and connive and plot and scheme and backstab and traitor and all these other things in order to win. And you're going to be angry at your teammates for unfucking this or fucking that up or whatever else, and just conflict and anger and backstabbing. Because that's what sells, is you're just how could Michelle betray Tyler or whatever, that sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, some of that is fine, but a lot of negativity. And what I love about the Great British Bake-Off is that literally all they're winning is the title of Great British Bake-Off winner and a platter thing. It's a platter with a little stem and another thing. So like a display platter for a nicely baked cake or something. That's fucking it. There's no money, there's no other prize, that's fucking all. And in fact, because it's, the Great British Bake-Off, the reason that I say the first day and the second day is because this shit takes place on weekends. These people have actual jobs that they're going back to, and they do this on the weekend. So, I don't know what is involved on the Friday thing, but, Saturday they do the signature and the technical, and then Sunday they do the showstopper, and then they go back to their lives until the next one. And so what that does is that, yes, they're all competing, but they're all fucking friendly with each other because they're all just really happy to be there and to enjoy competing in a friendly way. And I think that what really epitomizes that for me is that there are never any team challenges. It is always like individual competition of who's going to get Star Baker or not go home or go home. You like individual competition. And yet, so many times I see that when somebody who is like clearly a front runner doing really well, they finish their thing, whatever competition thing it happens to be, and there are still time left, and there's somebody over here who is just struggle bussing, just like their bake went bad, or they can't get things on, or they need like another set of hands in order to hold the thing while they put the other things on. And people and like others will come over and help them so that they can get done in time because of the time limits. And I love that because, yeah, you're competing, but you can help them. Like, your shit's done. You're happy with it. You did your best. Your thing is done. Go help them. And that is what I love about this show is that, yes, they are competing, but they aren't trying to sabotage the other players. They want the best out of these guys. And that's why, like, I really believe, like, a lot of reality shows are just like, oh, we're so sad to see you go. Oh, and then, like, they cut to, like, the side interview. They're like, fuck that bitch. I'm so glad that he's gone. You know, that type of thing. In this one, no. Like, you legitimately believe that all of these people really like hanging out with each other. And they even do this thing at the end of every season where, like, a couple of people are, like, going around and they have group chats and then they, like, have hangouts and they're, like, going on little vacation-y things together and they form these friendships that last. And I really, really like that. So it's fun to see, like, oh, no, his cake, like, his cake, whatever, fell over. Oh, that's so sad. But, you know, like, there's that, but then you also see the other people helping, or, like, you see somebody who, like, had such a bad week last week, and then they get the Paul Hollywood handshake, because there's, Paul Hollywood is the, like, main host who has, like, cookbooks and everything else, like, and he's definitely the harder judge, but he's harder for the Great British Bakeoff. He's not fucking Gordon Ramsay. Don't get me wrong, I love Gordon Ramsay, love, like, his, you know, like, you fucking donkey type thing. There is a time and a place for Gordon Ramsay. But Paul Hollywood is not Gordon Ramsay, but he's definitely harder on them than the other people. But, like, when you do something really, really good, like, you get the looks and the taste and everything perfect, like, he will give you a handshake, and it's like, oh my god, you got a Paul Hollywood handshake. But yes, there's Paul Hollywood, and then Prue, and she's delightful. I love her. The host, Noel, he is fantastic. I love him. So, last season was Matt Lucas's, who you might remember, they played, like, he played Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the twins, from the Johnny Depp Alice in Wonderland. That's really where I know him from. I think he's been in other things, but that's where I know him from. They were co-hosts for a lot of the time, or for like several seasons, but Matt Lucas had to go off and do something else. I don't remember what the reason was. I didn't bother to look at the trivia. But, so they replaced him this season with Allison Hammond. And initially I was just like, oh god, this is going to go bad. But I do kind of like the dynamic between her and Noel. Because Noel, I'm not saying he's a quiet guy, but like how he approaches things I think is a bit calmer, a bit, I don't know, more delicate. Like he's funny and he's clever and he's hilarious. Like all the hosts have always been funny. But she is a bit louder and a bit like more jovial and just has a bigger presence in some way, which I think complements how Noel does it. So it's fun to see like each of them interact with the contestants as the competition is going on. So I do kind of like her. I still miss Matt Lucas, but she's quite good for this season. So yeah, this show is fantastic. I love the hosts. And so the two hosts just kind of like make funny quips and like give them instructions. Then the judges are Paul Hollywood and Prue. And yeah, it's a fantastic show. I love all the different contestants because I always have a really nice big smattering of contestants from different backgrounds with, you know, you got the young people, the old guy or the old woman, and like they're all just happy to be here. And I love learning some like British slang and like just how they're more common phrasing of things that is different than Americans because it's fun and they're just all a delight to watch. So if you're looking for an uplifting reality show that You're going to learn a lot of terms and have a lot of terms you're like, I don't know what half of those terms are that you use to describe your dish, but it looks beautiful, and apparently it tastes great according to Paul. So, fantastic. Good job. But yeah, fantastic show. Do highly recommend it. The new season just finished on Netflix, so if you wanted to binge the whole thing, you can. And this is... it's my favorite season yet, which is what I would probably say about every season. But I think Netflix only has from like season 5 on. Before Noel joined, there was just like one older lady. She was fine, but I definitely like the Noel and Beyond seasons a little bit better. But I think all of the seasons are great because they've had essentially the same, like, signature technical showstopper every season, and it works, and it's fantastic, and I look forward to it every year. So, yes, 2 thumbs up. Give it a watch if you haven't seen it. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.